From concerns about healthcare to problems regarding work and residency, a new survey reveals the main worries that are keeping UK nationals living in Spain awake at night. Bremain in Spain head Sue Wilson explains. Back in April, Bremain in Spain launched a membership survey to investigate which Brexit-related issues were still of concern to their members. The Brexit Impact on Brits Abroad working group was established and set to work on designing a survey that would encourage members to share their views and feelings. The aim of the project was to discover how Brexit was impacting their members' lives, employment, families and health, and what were their major concerns going forward. They received over 600 individual testimonies covering a wide range of topics, with many more members contributing. Whilst they don't claim that their survey results represent the views of all or even the majority of their members, let alone those of all UK nationals in Spain, the issue raised will be recognizable to many. Unsurprisingly, healthcare was a topic raised by many of their members. Despite government reassurances, fears of losing the protections afforded by the withdrawal agreement, whether likely or not, are very real. One member, who wished to remain anonymous, said, "I'm worried that I cannot afford to pay for private medical insurance and will be left without recourse to any medical help at all." Many others spoke of the effect on their mental health, such as Nicholas Evans, who said that despite feeling prepared and having made all the right arrangements, he still felt awful when Brexit actually happened. He said it has had a significant negative impact on his mental health. He feels disempowered, abandoned and betrayed. Applications for Spanish residency was another hot topic, especially for those that had been unable to get appointments and were keen to legalize their status. Judith Yu said back in April, "I applied for my residence on December 23rd and I'm still waiting. It was impossible to book an appointment," adding, "It is difficult to move on so many fronts without having residency," a point made by many who are unable to process their driving license applications. Bremain is delighted to be able to report that Judith has finally had her residency application approved. And she told that she can't believe that it finally happened. She said, "I had started to think it never would. The stress had affected my quality of life. Finally getting my residencia does not take away from the fact that life has been made infinitely more stressful and complicated by Brexit." There was another unexpected turn of events reported to by Bremain last week by Mike Shaw. Mike had explained of the difficulties he faced running his own business now that UK qualifications are not recognized in many fields. He said the Spanish authorities had advised us that we can no longer operate our UK-flagged vessels nor crew them with our UK-certified staff. We must reflag the yards as Spanish vessels and crew them with Spanish-certified staff, or consider registering them in another EU member state. Mike advised Bremain on Thursday that his campaign to resolve this issue had been successful. A Spanish royal decree has overturned the EU decision to ban UK-flagged commercial vessels under 14 meters and to recognize the UK qualifications of its crew, proving how important it is to bring Brexit-related issues to the attention of the authorities. Others, however, have not been so fortunate. Michael Sophie spoke of the impact of the loss of freedom of movement rights on his business, saying, "I can no longer leave Spain to do short-term work in other EU countries without getting the C-type EET business working visa." The effect Brexit is having on families is another major cause of concern, especially amongst those married to non-Brits. Spain's position regarding dual citizenship means the children of British and Spanish parents have difficult choices to make, for example, either to choose to be Spanish and retain their freedom of movement, or choose to be British and retain access to UK university education at local prices. Many Brits married to Spanish citizens worry they won't be able to return to the UK with their partners and children. Alan Brown stated, "My wife is Spanish and thus, if, for whatever reasons, we have to return to the UK, then it could be difficult for my wife to reside permanently in the UK." Others were concerned not just about the post-Brexit migration rules, but by the hostile environment experienced by EU citizens in the UK. As this anonymous contributor said, "If returning to the UK to live, how will my Spanish wife be treated?" From healthcare to residency, employment to family concerns, the issues were sadly familiar ones. What Bremain hadn't expected from their survey results was the level of mistrust in the UK government, a lack of confidence in government promises, and a concern over the rhetoric used by government ministers, not least from Lord David Frost. The minister responsible for implementing the Brexit agreement was the most raised topic of all. I'm not surprised of that one, by the way. Lawrence Renaudin-Smith said, "I still have some worries that in the future the UK government may break its promises in the WA. I'm a UK state pensioner and I no longer trust the UK government." That was the reason, he said, why he had applied for Spanish citizenship. Colin Richardson said, "Trust in the UK government has never been lower." Daniandro Salisbury said simply the government had failed its citizens abroad. Many of the heartfelt and indeed heartbreaking testimonies were difficult reading, but we need to understand what difficulties UK nationals in Spain are still facing, Bremain said. As do the British government. That is why Bremain was delighted to be invited to give evidence on May 25th to the newly formed House of Lords European Affairs Committee. The committee was holding an inquiry on citizens' rights and will be taking evidence relating to UK nationals in the EU and EU citizens in the UK. The evidence that was presented by Bremain included the results of the BIBA survey and many of their members' testimonies. They hope the committee members will find them as revealing and moving as they did. Of course, not all UK nationals, whether in Spain or across the EU, have Brexit concerns. Whether for or against Brexit, many will be making every effort to forget all about it and get on with their lives. There's much to be said for putting the past behind them, accepting that they cannot change and looking to the future. For some, the Brexit effects will be barely noticeable. For others, minor adjustments will have to be made. But let's never forget those for whom the impact of Brexit has life-changing implications. They, more than most, need their sympathy, their support and their understanding. Bremain hopes the European Affairs Committee will see that too. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.